Peace, respect, gratitude. Before we begin any activity, we make sure that we call on those who have made it possible for us to be here, on our ancestors, on those who have come before us and cleared the path for us to have the lives that we have and to inhabit the space that we are in, so that we are in clear understanding that we didn't do it by ourselves, that there's more to the world than what we can see. The ancestors are present, ever present. So as I pour, call out the names of those who you want to remember, those who you want to be here in this space with us, those who you want to take from this place with you. Carrie Taylor, John Taylor, Margaret Fisher, Tyrone Foster, Chief James Hawthorne Bay, Dr. Margaret Rose, James Turner, Brother Malcolm X, Amiri Baraka, Lucille Clifton, June Jordan, Audrey Lord, Sekou Sundiata. Will there be any others? Will there be any others? Shay. Will there be any others? Thank you.
Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, before I launch into this, I just want to talk about the poems I'm going to be reading. Because Poets Against Racism and Hate USA is just beginning to have a presence in Indiana, we have no Fort Wayne area poets to read at this event. So I'm going to take this opportunity during the round robin to read poems by PARH USA members from all over the place. Our membership includes poets with varied racial and ethnic backgrounds, poets from the LGBTQ+ community, poets with multiracial families and white cis poets like me who just want to act as allies in the fight against racism, bigotry, and hate, and so on. So my selections will be reflective of those diverse voices. Oops, wait a second. All right. Okay, I'm going to start out with a poem by Laura Gravel, one of our members, 1980 Juneteenth Rising. I'm walking down this hot street. I'm holding a baby, walking down this hot street. I don't know why I'm doing this yet. I'm thinking I'm just doing my job. I'm a park leader, a skinny white girl on this second ever Juneteenth parade in Austin, Texas, celebrating the day the slaves heard they were free. I mean, I know why we're doing it. I work at a park, 2 parks. One, all the kids are black, one is mixed race. But it hasn't really dawned that the heat of this march is not just the sweat of my arms, the sweat of this child who is black, not just our sweat sliding over each other, intermingling and dropping, sizzling on the brutal street as the drums come solemn behind us. It hasn't even dawned that the need of this child is not just that this child's mother is at work, not just that this child is a defenseless infant, as the drums come solemn, as the drums come solemn, come solemn. We're marching down this hot street, a gaggle of kids between 3 park leaders, all squinting into the sun, almost nobody watching from the sidelines, because this ain't Congress Avenue. This street is a backside to ugliness between the Villa Capri Motel parking lot and the Lyndon Baines Johnson Presidential Library parking lot, a street radiating heat, cooking us like stew. But we march on, this baby and I. We made it, sister, and you never complained. At 9 months, you knew. It's taken me 59 years.
Diamond just looked at it. He knew the tricks, the traps, and the runnings. His mouth stayed shut. Fred Moulton, black and blur. Open your eyes, feel the fire, see the light. Let's get to it, human. Being human, Hueman. Being humane, Humane. Being moment, being momentous, being monumental, being mountain, be breath. The life force moisture carrier, breaker, saturating, shape skin, be mine. Time absent, begin real, speak, help, begging, real, speak. If justice be just behavior or treatment, then justice must precede the act, must vitiate logical thinking, must Jesus the merchant, must be foundational, must be God's breath filling the fleshy void. Must be the silence in us realer than they reality, they thinking matters. Must be praxis, must be blood in meditation alleys, flowing rivers of spiritual holy body. Justice be action in the body, things felt, not reaction from head to humming tongue. That reaction better named revenge. No justice after murder. No linguistic manipulation can bring back the dead. Murder be murder. Murder is a forever stain. Justice ain't behavior, ain't a cool yard reprimand, a military courts martial. Behavior be white speak. Justifying murder, rape, robbery, enslavement, and genocide, erasure. Justice has no truck with greed. Justice be the life force, Ashe, Nyame, the field from which just action comes. Reaction, revenge, remorse, mind's unsettled state. No, perhaps execration of the corporate state to rehabilitate they, you of our we. Meditation alleys, collective breath, engaged action. We are the spirit, the collective conscience. We create the pain and the suffering and the beauty in this world. Heavens in our hearts. We are the spirit, the collective conscience. We create the pain and the suffering and the beauty in this world. Heavens in our hearts. Tracy Chapman.
For some reason, that poem leads me to this poem, Good Day to Die. Today's a good day to die. The rains are finicky wet, the snowflakes have knife-tight edges, the lovers eat passion again, the truckers are trucking again, the fuckers are fucking up again, and even the sins are plump in a graciousness of floral tones that give off hints of cedar and citrus. The air's thick with man-made miasma and heartbreaks rubbernecking in their forgiveness for shame, like that sound of snow parachuting on the backs of its sisters and brothers, some slurping pat. And you've kissed your last kiss, never to suck her bottom lip again, stilled in a wonderment of dry saliva from her on your top lip. Your nose functions like the hound dog, even in all the brown and white noise that sonically blurs into a kaleidoscope with wind catchers. There's moon, there's stars, like you were little again, where your mother holds onto you so fucking tightly you feel safe, even when you shouldn't. Mama's hands wrapped around your forearms, spinning and spinning you until the blessings of hitting the ground and holding onto it succumbs. The world stops being frenetic. That's when you open your eyes, groan, look around at time slip into groove only a diamond needle can handle. For the first time you hear your song crackling.
That poem just made me think of ancestors and family. And this is a poem by Cara Thompson. She's actually a member of Poets Against Racism in the United Kingdom, but she's read for our events before. Island Screams. Where are you from? Nottingham. No, where are you from? Oh, I see. Well, that's easy. I'm Windrush, hybrid, island spawn. I'm sun, I'm sea, I'm rain, I'm storm. Cast out, cast in, I'm hope reborn and lost as soon as it was formed. I'm bloody rivers, battleships. I'm ackee, saltfish, fish and chips. I'm cocoa butter on your lips. I'm soursop, I'm apple pips. I'm from the land of wooden huts and bras made out of coconuts, where ganja burns and Europe tuts from inside of their history books. I'm blue magic and hot-combed hair. I'm from the blood-stained windows where the ivory banks of Europe glare and leave my empty pockets bare. I'm from a distant, echoed threat, an island that I've never met, where sun and sea and blood and sweat are called your favorite vacay yet. From Caliban and animals, 2 steps away from Crusoe and his cannibals, an island of black Hannibals. You dream about that package to Montego Bay you found on Thompson holidays, where trees bend back and snap their roots to greet you on your merry ways. So many days of mine are spent repenting for a helpless crime. I swing upon a slowly snapping vine, and then I realize I'm sugarcane, I'm wind, I'm rain, I'm hurricanes that tear the ground. I'm ancestors that won't be found, whose bodies beat from underground. I'm red-skinned ghosts that haunt your dreams. I'm Nanny, Seacole, Pocomania screams that call across the sea and find their way right back to me. Does that answer your question?
Poem's a personal matter. It's all about how you're living, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Yeah, that's what hardball. Tuesday, 9 January 1996. This offering is for you, old man. This salty ground, this gin. Lucille Clifton, libation from Blessing the Boats. At 11 years old, he threw a baseball harder than most grown men. A 90-mile-an-hour fastball that won championships for his Little League teammates, but gained him only momentary self-esteem and no self-respect, just bragging rights on Danger Alley's hot corners. A man boy with soft eyes and pig iron hands on steel-toed streets. Pitcher was a young lion walking bad attitude into the next crisis. A most likable man-child, this 11-year-old black boy only needed tending, just a little tenderness. Only needed someone somewhere to care, to be there consistently enough for him to grab hold to. Pitcher needed a daddy, but got a coach. We won championships together and salvaged a middle school career from detention hall, police lineups, and alternative school. Pitcher had no good options. Lost track of the hurler after Little League morphed into Babe Ruth at age 13. Heard Pitcher's name mentioned many times by cops and court officers as gang fever rose in this sleepy, rust-belt city at the junction of three rivers, equidistant to each bustling Midwest metropolis, north, south, east, and west of here. Heard rumors Pitcher led the city's most violent, most notorious gang faction. Later heard he'd gone downstate to boys' school and the cops had targeted him as next up to do hard time. I heard that Pitcher had gotten out and went looking for him, but he found me. He was leading a hungry pack of young wolves who chased their prey through my backyard one summer evening as the red sun hovered low in the western sky. The wolves cornered the frightened rabbit on my neighbor's porch. The smell of blood, cheap liquor, and weed in the air, the pack was drawing down, sharpening their teeth for the kill. Then Pitcher's eyes locked on mine, and I saw his rage soften. We exchanged words never before spoken as he held the pack at bay. Like a conductor with a wave of his hand, he turned the wolves away, let the whimpering prey go free. At 17, Pitcher was just a big 11. Attitude a bit more salty, matured, didn't throw fastballs no more. His steel blade eyes guarded, cutting, hunting, always watching, aware of every evasive movement. Now, the hurler slung dope on midnight corners and specialized in breaking and entering, stealing to make a living. A main source of income for his family, torn from heart to outer edges and dependent on the welfare state. Pitcher even coached his little brother into a better way of living than he'd chosen. Walked him away from the misery path his steel-toed shoes had taken. Pitcher was proud of that. But he got busted again. Went to prison. This time took a felony rap. Pitcher was only 20 when I last saw him. Had just celebrated a quiet birthday with a girlfriend and was resident in a halfway house, orange vested, pulling community service. Said he was working to rehabilitate himself away from violence and stealing. Said, "Coach, I just want a normal life." Said he was trying to learn to read better. I told him I'd work with him to make that happen. We talked about a GED and his girlfriend, future plans, all that. Talked too about the old days, his hard-headedness and heartache. talked about how being cared for back then had given him something to fall into, something to look forward to, talked about feelings and old friends, talked about how one day soon we'd have to do lunch. Talked and talked in the few minutes he had before being herded off on his work release related charges, clad in jail orange jumper and garden rake in hand. I read in the morning paper some months later that death by cop had caught picture in an alley, his back punctured by bullets. Heard news blaring from the TV set about a gang leader, cops shot down, defending themselves. I couldn't help but see the target that had been painted on pictures back since he was 15. Inner city blues make me want to holler. Police claim Pitcher had a gun in that alley and was running toward them. Said he raised his arm to fire. Pitcher was shot in the back. No gun was ever found at the scene. The cop talked gang leader covered Pitcher's bullet punctured body. Body of the boy the coroner found dead in his own blood at the junction of 3 Rivers in an inner city alley. The back of his skull blown away. Cops enforced choices so young never gave Pitcher much of a chance to stay.
Okay, this is by John Burroughs. He's a PARH USA member, but he's also was the 2022-2023 US Beat Poet Laureate. I'll try to do him justice. There's the title is I Am Not Ready to Die, and there's an epigraph. After reading the Cleveland.com headline, President Donald Trump, Justice Department say Cleveland will see surge of federal agents to combat crime in the wake of peaceful protests following the murders of George Floyd and others by police. I am not ready to go gently into Dylan's good night. While wannabe Blackwater thugs crush kinfolk for cash in Portland and maybe soon Cleveland, I am not ready to die before there is justice for Sandra Bland and Breonna Taylor. I am not ready to let go while white would-be masters and their whelps, so wary of wearing masks, seem rapt with delight at the thought of regurgitating yesterday's noose in their fight against Black Lives Mattering. Oh, the splattering. I am not ready to rest on my laurels, worthless as they may be, while there is work to do, and while few of the words the politicians say are true, believe me. I am not ready to watch my loved ones be ground down into the Cleveland blacktop by blackguards and black shirts issued forth from Washington by the liar, cheat, and black-hearted chief who believes the police force that killed 12-year-old Tamir Rice, same Cleveland police force that shot 137 bullets into unarmed Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams, might need a little extra firepower to carry out their black work.
This is kind of playing off of the last 2 poems. It's called My Debbie Littlejohn Says. At this juncture, just lie to me. Tell me that the poinsettias will blossom on Friday, that the soil will be rich in minerals and runoff. Tell me that the body slapping will render good sex, our lips moist with want and tongues panting. Just lie that the smile on your wrinkling face I put there with love and sweat for ancient things that are now new, us old. I still see us together, in that line for future stars and naked-footed nights and optimal, supreme lemongrass. Lie to me, but not like a politician. More like a child that's scared she will lose her breath because her mama told her that one man will replace another man in her life. If you can't lie to me correctly, why are we together? This is an ultimatum born from the smile of a soul stiller, a man. Place your head on pillow. Let me smell your breath enter my nose, tickle the hairs. Let me feel coarse hair against the back of my legs. Let me say no once, no twice, No, 3 times, 4, that I don't belong to anyone, to anything but myself, and I am just present. A blessing that I gave you in this moment where our eyes glisten at each other like catfish eyes, and your eyelashes, long and lashy in artificial light, are full with shadows that cover me like umbrellas and turrets. As we exhale, I don't run away from you tonight. And I know I can kill myself daily, but I won't.
Has anybody ever heard the name Clifford Glover? Okay. Boy 10 slain by patrolman. Coppers charged with murder. That's a New York Daily News headline. Prologue, just the color of the skin. Sunrise. Day dawns in 2 hours. Another summer sun to warm cold, bleached bones. Salted in Atlantic waters, belched up on Caribbean shores, arrayed in Southland geographies from Virginia, South Carolina, and Florida to Georgia, Mississippi, and Louisiana. I give thanks peering down this 70-year tunnel of my 25,550 days targeted in the bullseye, giving thanks for making it to this other side. Ashe. In a Big Apple mouth of broken teeth, 60 degrees of dirt gray snow here, November in the hoary shade of Buffalo, ice water slithers downhill to Lake Erie through underground tunnels of mind. I give thanks to meaning, memory, and meander, to the repeating cycle of days, repeating thanks to the rising sun, to the grand opening of shut eyes. Ha! Clifford Glover, a hole in his back, blown to pieces for being black. I remember it was the 28th day of April, 1973. I was only days back from Boston, planning covert actions with comrades. Death row was more than a year behind me, and I was gladly free back home in New York. It was the 28th day of the first full month of spring. A cold ocean wind blew up the Hudson. Little did we know that chill was death, stalking privileges, strutting pale horse. George and Jonathan had fallen. Attica had fallen. Indigenous rebels occupied Alcatraz. Rigid knights of intrigue ruled city streets. The Black Liberation Army was on the move. Assata Shakur and Sundiata Acoli were 4 days before capture. Zaid Malik Shakur soon to be dead. Inner City Blues was 2 years spinning on the turntable of black hearts. The city's white rulers ran scared. White fear cocked, sidearms drawn. Non-violent Negroes kneeled in pine box pews, believing justice and possibility under law. This is America, and possibility is on sale. 5 years, the other side of Martin crumpled on a Memphis balcony. 8 years, Malcolm fell, bleeding out on the Audubon stage. Young black minds prepped for murder or riot, or surely maybe both. This is America, and the fight was on. Night was a torch in a dry, angry hayfield. It was early morning of the 28th day on New York Boulevard, South Jamaica, Queens. Ad Armstead and Clifford, his 10-year-old boy, walked to a nearby junkyard where they worked most Saturday mornings. Their gait purposeful, not a lot of talk between them. After all, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. A father-son relationship, absent words, 2 spirits moving along in a line pathway. Father and son, a mission on the move, stepping along a wide boulevard when Two plainclothes cops, Thomas Shea and Walter Scott, screeched to a halt beside them. Cowboy cops on New York City streets. The dynamic duo sprung from an unmarked car, guns drawn. Queens, New York City, 1973. Robbery, surely no stranger on these impoverished streets. A black man and black boy on foot, walking targets on a sunrise morning. Two white boys, guns drawn, bum rush. Father and son saw a stick up, and so they run. Run to outrun the outlaws, run for safety, run to save their black lives. Then shots rang out. Ain't no need for sunlight. Ain't no need for moonlight. Ain't no need for street light, it's burning real bright. Some folks say we gon' fight, cause this here thing just ain't right. 1960, what? 1960, who? Shea and Scott. The undercover cops went nigger hunting on Queens Boulevard, chasing coons through hooded streets, claiming they'd be pursuing robbery suspects. No. This was early morning fun for white guys with guns, gold badges, and license to kill. The New York Daily News reported. In the moments after the fatal shooting, Shea and Scott were recorded on walkie-talkie transmissions to a dispatcher making peculiar comments. Die, you little bastard, Scott was overheard saying. One of the cops added a victory whoop. Woohoo! The good guys won. Peculiar comments. The everyday mindset of New York City's finest. White vigilantes, 1973. The good guys won, the good guys won. New York City's finest. Hunted two black bodies in their 20s. Supposed suspects in a taxi cab heist. Two blacks spotted, took to flight. Shea shot first when asked, said he didn't notice the 10-year-old kid who lay dead, bleeding out on Queens Boulevard. Clifford Glover, a hole in his back, blown to pieces for being black. New York, 1973. The shoot ruled a homicide. Shea went on trial for murdering a 10-year-old black kid for shooting a 10-year-old black boy in the back while running away. From the witness stand, under oath, Shea told the truth, having sworn on the Holy Christian Bible. He proclaimed, Your Honor, I paid no particular attention to height, weight, or faces, just the color of the skin. 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 The jury verdict in, no honor among New York white folk. Thomas Shea found not guilty, 12 June 1974. Clifford Glover, a hole in his back, blown to pieces for being black. Clifford Glover, a hole in his back, blown to pieces for being black. Die, you little bastard. Clifford Glover, a hole in his back, blown to pieces for being black. Clifford Glover, a hole in his back. Clifford Glover, Clifford Glover, Clifford Glover. Your Honor, I paid no particular attention to height, weight, or faces, just the color of his skin. Yeah, reborn. This is from a manuscript that's working me now, keeping me up to 4:30, 5 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. But it's almost ready to be almost in shape. Reborn. And the name of the manuscript is Poetry is Life's Conversation with Death. This is the 7th draft. Reborn. Before body can rise to defend itself, mind must be. Broken is not necessarily to be forlorn, to be born again, born things you know as you must be silenced. Personality-driven thinking, bringing moments of joy and pain, must be put under the microscope and surgically unclaimed. Before body can rise to defend itself, mind must be reborn. Healing requires much work and much love. That love work is faith-based. To love oneself, hold oneself, trust one's self. The self must see through new eyes, the mirror of the other. Must see through the smoke and mirage that has come to be your life. See past objects of desire, past addictions, past emotions of lack and greed. Before body can rise to defend itself, mind must be reborn. Feel self, deep within the core of you, restless yet so patient, energy rising, waiting to be unmoored. More than personality, more than egomanic jostling in a politic of hide and seek. Faith unseen converts ideas and belief to magic. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things in the unseen. Breath and self's faith commune as cosmic sea, bounding, sounding, bounding, sounding the call to sail life's sacred waters. Swim naked in life's river, knowing life will deliver you to the ocean's breadth, and in that deliverance, you will know peace and take compassion to the bank at the river's source. Before a body can rise to defend itself, mind must be reborn. Before a body can rise to defend itself, mind must be reborn. Our garden breathes. Our garden breathes. Roots cracking concrete, vines reclaiming steel and stone. Our children, petals blooming, whispered prayers. Oya's wind refuses to forget their ancestor names. Poets sound shapers, shapeshifters, image making. Artists and artisans, activists and earth tenders whose soiled hands and rhythmic voices brushstroke keys with gendered bass lines, seeds and syllables shaping tomorrow's language. They be spirit folk wearing all colors, persuasions, perceptions, and lifestyles, dancing between sun and shadow. Native hands carving futures into wood, into skin, into family names. African tongues coaxing from earth her old songs. Our mother hums back loving mellow rhythms that her children, we people of earth and sun, plant together the what that must grow in our garden and outlive us. We must harvest justice under baobab broad leaves and robust trunk, stories braided as river currents, revolution smells of sage and rain. Our people live here, listen here, learn to love here. Our garden breathes. I had a conversation with a very good friend, my brother, Sock Spirit. And in the midst of that conversation, he asked me a question and I couldn't remember. The words wouldn't show up. And I said, oh, that must mean something. I'm losing my words for Socks. It's dark here. Sun just above the horizon behind the garage. Painted southern sky, a muted rosy hue of last night's conversation. I kept turning away from you, holding and looking through me. You, looking through me, into the jungle between neck and tongue. tangled sounds unwilling to make words fall into sentences. I wanted to say. The museum was 2 houses east of Lafayette Street, the African American museum that I was trying to remember, but I couldn't remember the name of the street. But the street's name got lost somewhere between the thought and the articulation, and then another word that hasn't yet come back to mind. There's a fierceness in this tangled knot of memories, unremembered absence, and word loss. And I think of all the familiar faces, the unnamed offerings out of spoken reach. This is not cause for sadness. It does not necessitate suffering, but the simple recognition that on this journey, body and mind wear out eventually. There is no getting back the what was, the warm feeling of speaking incisively with sounds that cut deep with meaning, my feet locked to the beaten path. Poetry is simply life's conversation with death, and these missing words be milestones on the road that lead home to Orun from Aye. Poetry's the bridge, the way home.
Acknowledgement from Fort Wayne, Indiana. This poem is being created from thin air breathed above land where Bodewadmik and Miamyaki lived toiling under my sun, lived loving under my moon, lived, passengered liberty, pursued happiness who's here for those extant and a new now is sovereignty and weight of solidarity. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to Curtis, Erica, Kétu, and Bryan. It's just wonderful for Poets Against Racism and Hate USA to be able to have this collaboration with all of you. So thank you very much. Okay, I know a call to action is supposed to come at the end of a transaction, but I'm going to start with one. This is for all the poets out there. When now can't go on, poets must. When the din of despair cacophonates from those near giving up and those never giving up are brink close to disaster, and regression from oppression moves backward toward mean, because what passes for powerless is anything but, then poets must rise up. Poets must rise up to sing haunt the record straight, word-whip politicians till their wingtips slosh with something like the blood left behind by vigilante-uppers smug in their protective states. Poets choose and use their means. Scribe the skeletal clutch of those vowing not to lose the privilege they refuse to say is theirs but use, and enjam the illogical allegation that diversity weakens a human ecosystem. Read the science while you still can. With repetition, petition those engaged in anaphral school board scream-offs about wrong bathrooms and right history, banning all hope of imparting empathy to our nexts. When now can't go on, poets must rise up. Poets rise up. Poets rise up. So PARH USA came to be as a result of the murder of George Floyd. And in fact, every year on the anniversary of his death, we continue to do a virtual poetry event to help try to prevent the disremembering of that incident and continue to bring attention to systemic racism. This poem I'm about to read actually came about in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, at a time when I was learning more about the origin of the construct of race and thinking about the findings from the Human Genome Project, and then also at the same time that there was this hopefulness in the country that we might be on the verge of actual change. Of course, that did not materialize, and instead we're in the midst of a backlash to that. But I keep reading this poem, just like we keep having that event on the anniversary of George Floyd's murder, because I don't want people just to disremember that hopefulness. It's a sonnet, it's a love poem. The leaves had gone away, or midsummer season change in the year 2020. The leaves had gone away, by shaggy shard, gray bark fell free and rests where veed roots thrust. The cambium, yet festering, was carved through. Sapwood circles blood to surface rushed. Stark naked heartwood will decay and must, lain bare, remain. Our sameness, science proved. Per method, replication lies with us. Might we exploit a globe's collective mood? A calloused core, departed leaves left nude, unliving heartwood, nothing left to lose, endures, surrenders only if removed. How can we fell the mighty ancient ruse? Let's bud anew, relentless, and embrace the other. Science says there is no race. I'm going to reach back a little bit for this one too. This is a poem I wrote, well, it's relevant still today because of the recent rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes. October 27, reflection on the Tree of Life synagogue shooting. Leaves dropped from the tree. First fell two green, yet still sent swirling down, and one a crinkle, edges curling, tumbled toward the ground. Another tinted, palest parchment, frail and time imprinted, flutter plunged in scythed, unfair farewell. Then two, with stems entwined and tightening tailspin, backs and curved, set bent against the harshness, landed spooning, silent. Winds of darkness took to earth en masse the petals' partners. Circumspection only breaks the heart worse, dread of want to forecast such departures. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, the role I try to play in the fight against racism, bigotry, and hate is that of an ally. And as an ally, I'm acutely aware of times when my efforts are inadequate, and it feels devastating for me. But finally, I took the time to think about what must it feel like to the person on the other end of that situation. And this poem tries to get at that. Ally fail. A price few can pay with ease, yet some disperse with grace, is acceptance of effort made, if made only in vain, when outcome hoped for alone is judged as having worth. Today such payment came. I am in receipt, flooding with relief unfounded, gratitude, desire heightened to improve. But what of she who paid? What floods there? I try to imagine. She sleeps in a sliver of moonlight on the sliver of mattress left by a nocturnal bully, one arm sacrificed to sheetless cold. A solitary doe makes its way eve after eve to the same barren clearing. Empty, the oarless rowboat eddies in white muck fog, and the burning barn keeps secrets. Did the bulls aid the calves? Did they even try? Lightning unaccompanied by sound, forged from oppressive heat, oppressiveness, oppression, furies. Awake, she submits to bellish insistence that she avert the eye roll, up in the recoil from a limpid handshake. But she acknowledges her desire, heightened, to be louder than a blunted dream scream. She perceives water dripping to a basin's porcelain floor, eventually silenced by its own volume. Leaves overturned, twisted on their stems, rise dull side up in the breath of the coming storm, not to mention the gale's effect on a branch-grasping blackbird, feathers ruffled to the point of pain, barbules awkwardly exposed. She hears a child call from slick greens, nethermost in an abandoned well, and is buckled again by the thought that counts. Okay. My last poem is an homage to the fortitude that so often occurs in the face of systemic racism. It's an ekphrastic poem that I had the opportunity to be in an event where 40 poets were chosen to respond to 40 pieces of art, and piece of art I chose had words in it, so that was really exciting for me, and that's reflected here. In a Garden of Girlness, after Bloom, by watercolorist Elizabeth Ford. Wee one, look at you. All around, other girls busy about with pageants and play, reading and running, hide and go seek through daisy and pansy, petunia, begonia, gardenia, and mum, primrose and tulip, forget-me-not, buttercup, and bergamot. Black lashes curved, like the spine of our crescent moon, you peer in profile forward toward your future. Upturned palm, forefinger to thumb, you seek being beyond yourself. You're 6 going on expectation. Composed in tutu of tempered primrose, its barely pink bodice paled the more by skin hued umber imbued with Antwerp blue. In a garden of girlness, you're a Gilead iris. Bloom is brandished across your frills, dream emblazoned on your gaze, realize written in your pose. Bloom you shall, petal by petal with jubilance, petal, 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 yet all your blossoms may be harder wrought than ones of some sisters who surround you, because your soil, your sun, your rain, as of now, is not the same, somehow, as theirs. And somewhere along the way, someone will wishful think, as the artful asks, does this flower look weak? Composed in skin hued umber imbued with Antwerp blue, you will intervene on your own behalf. You'll paraphrase a painting in which you starred. This flower isn't weak. This flower is strong. This girl is ever blooming. Iris atrofusca. I am the bloom and will be ever, 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 ever.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to say I am so happy that Debbie and Kétu are here and we're doing this, that you all are here and we're doing this, that Erica, Bryan, Matt has helped us out to make this a beautiful thing. So I'm just going to get into this. I'm going to start with 2 poems. I was just working last month with Monroe County Jail, where we, and with Women Writing for a Change Bloomington, where we were working with the men in Monroe County Jail for the whole month. And on the last day, we had a Pop-Up Indiana Chitlin Circuit, which was so cool because the commander, which I don't know where they got him from, but he was able to get them chicken and waffles. And they were just beyond the sky with that. So it was really cool. But there are a couple of poems I had that we were looking at of mine, and these 2 poems kind of spoke to what they were going through. This is called When Too Close to Tiger Stripes. If anything, we should be trying to kick the nicotine with patches, doing due diligence underneath our skin that marks us like a bully's beat down wounds. If anything, we should be trying to stop drinking dark liquor, swimming with Coke or Pepsi with breakfast. Our eggs never taste like starting a day right anymore. If anything, we should stop making methamphetamines our main absolution with our daughter at the kiddie park on a 4-hour visit. There's factors. Then there's factors. Factors go with using. Do not get half a damn for us or the ceaseless smart pain. It's a Bengal tiger rotating its shoulders, creeping into our bedroom in the middle of the night as we look for focus. Realize her guttural purr tingles our testicles, the real fear. We care to shut out what our 2 eyes adjust to, but we get mesmerized by her muscles, her objective. Her eyes, a wonderment of yellow reaching for us as we ossify and piss and shit ourselves. Her dripping saliva catches all moonlight, a paradigm of celestial God watching, diamonds emitting their brilliance. her girths atop us. We smell rank breath. We feel her vibration, and it feels like the bed won't hold up. We don't move. We can't move. She places us into her mouth. Nothing sexual about death. It is power and stealth and the magnificence of hunting bringing us together. This is dominance. This is all about her, animal on animal, teeth and our meat. And one of the things, the biggest thing you notice about working with these men is that they know they've made mistakes and they don't want to be qualified or just justified by that one mistake. Sometimes 2, 3, 4, 10 mistakes. But they still are humans and they still want to be seen. So they go through a lot of stuff. And this other one was another poem they really liked. There are times when I must let depression walk. When the lovers you love can't reciprocate voltage, when your muscle memory rejects your brain's hand signals, or when no one is listening to the craggy woman on a megaphone, screaming to a Lucille sky that men are crazy as fuck every day. Somewhere. Somewhere inside the wares is the meaning of right here. And there was a conversation you made in a light, and a light in you made alterations on the future. When you let go, wind massages, I can't even say the word, massages your face like your favorite old addiction. And you do nothing to resist. While the voices in your head shut up, and all the voices in real life chat right up in front of your back. No one sees you own all those voices. Primal, young to fading. You own all the thoughts, the dark liquor, the fixes to your elastic mind. There are times when you must listen to listlessness, accept the loose whir and rotation of the fan. And I'm going to end with this one. It's called Inflamed Red-Headed Black Girl Magic. And what that means is this is a red-headed black woman who happens to be a lesbian. When I am Malcolm, I am Detroit's offspring. Perseverance in a scratchy throat from night dialogue. Walking that concrete, I am jazz birds flying under starshine midnight. A bone woman trickster full of love verbs, wet by rain slick. A blessing. My daddy's twinkling eyes for my mama's song. A sluice of sticky DNA, sticking like sticker bugs to pant legs, coming through the bedraggled green grass. When I am Malcolm, I kill killer weeds, push back hands, poisoning voices, stopping my acapella, stopping my love for indigo sky. When I am Malcolm, I am anathema to bullshit, bubblegum jaws, and mint julep smiles. I got eyeballs on me. There are fingers on triggers. When I am Malcolm Little, Detroit Red, Malcolm X, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, by any means necessary, finger-stroking goatee thinker, man of the people, I'm urban sheep herder heading home, while my translucent breaths remind me of wife's nightgowns, floating towards moon, haunting night air. I pull up coat collar, thinking throat thoughts, souls talk with concrete, bop, 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 my breaths, keep tempo with heart, where a gay family woman has to get home to family, no figment, a working pulse, I gotta do this fifth Sunday from today when I am Malcolm. Malcolm, like you can't even deal with this, Malcolm. I am stepping in front of bullets so parents can bring their sons and daughters home, unleaded, refueled, better hims, better hers, better thems. When it's a bad Tuesday and I am Malcolm, gallivanting in the steam of lifting sewer fog, I'm still angry, I'm still woman, I'm still searching, piecing together the African lotus flower inside the man of me, asking a woman of me, what is this? Betty says, love, but don't try this fire if your mind can't deal with this bitter, this honey, and this milk and everything you taste. Now, when I'm Malcolm, I am Betty. I am Dr. Betty Shabazz, and I'm Shabazzing all her Betty X, all her Betty Dean Sanders, for all brown little girls growing up civil right in Georgia, for all the brown girls searching to own the me and I. There is the Malcolm in my back seat with Martin on our way to Obama's inauguration. Stevie Wonder is driving in Aretha's lap. When I'm Malcolm, I am the moment touching his lips against my fingers, wetting them, turning pages, a new annex on accepting the sun force that turned her hair red. The one summer I'm running through Delaney projects like a lit match. When I see Malcolm, little, I realize I am a little Malcolm. I am Malcolm like I am breath and bone and skin, a language, a songstress delivering, accepting open ears. I am homemade guitar before Fender and Les Paul, a fire music so few ever get to hear. Thank you.